Welcome to the Crow's Flight Tarot Spread. We have 3 options here, and I'm sure you can see those clearly. Same images that were on the thumbnail. So you can go ahead and pick which of these crows seems to be calling out to you the most. And when we get into your reading, we're going to be using this Crow's Flight Spread, which is from Moonbent Tarot. Moonbent.com. So we're going to be asking these questions. What is my secret truth? What important message do I bring to others? What do I see that others don't? How can I adapt to my current circumstances? What must die so that I can continue to move forward? So I thought that this was a nice theme leading into Halloween. I just want you guys to know that this weekend, Halloween weekend, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on the 30th yet or the 31st. It depends upon my plans. But I will be having a Halloween live stream party. So if you're interested in coming to that, just pay attention to the channel. I know I've been gone for a while. I haven't posted a pick a card reading in a long time, but I'm excited to get back into it. And I feel very energetically aligned right now with this particular reading and the spread that we're about to get into. So I feel like this is sort of like getting in touch with your inner crow, you know, the part of you that perceives beyond what's obvious. All right. Those heightened perceptions where you can sort of see into the shadows of yourself and into the world. And this is a great Scorpio energy, as the sun has just recently moved into the sign of Scorpio. And yeah, to sort of like set the mood for the Halloween weekend. So, all right, so just use the timestamps below. Once you've decided which of these 3 readings you feel drawn to. Perhaps you feel drawn to more than one, so just pay attention to whatever your in particular intuition is guiding you towards, and I'll see you at your reading. All right, welcome everyone to pile 1. I'm going to ring the bells again to clear the energy. All right, I have my little crow feather. We can invoke the energy of crow here. In addition to choosing this crow image, you also chose this, I think it's called Sweet Dreams or Sweet Emotions. I don't know, but it's a, I can't remember exactly, but it has a very surreal, but also like dream-like quality to it. It's like you're looking into a very surreal, but vivid dream. So kind of spooky, a little bit Halloween vibes, or like, you know, this time of year when the veil is thin. I guess that's the energy that I'm getting here. All right, I need to open this up so I can see the spread, how it is. All right, so card 1 there. I'm going to put this so that you can also see the questions, hopefully. And then you can see them all. All right. So card number 1. I think I'm just going to read these cards upright. 2, 3, 4, and 5. See. Okay. There we go. I think everything is in the frame there. All right. So for pile 1, I'm going to spray some essential oil spray as well. I'm just so in the habit of spraying this stuff. All right. All right. What is the secret truth of our number 1 crow people? What is their secret truth? We have the 8 of Pentacles. Did you get a good look at that? 8 of Pentacles. I feel like your secret truth is that you know that you are admired, but you're kind of not paying attention to it. You're choosing not to pay attention to the fact that people are having admiration for you right now. And I think part of the reason you're choosing not to pay attention to that, I mean, you have a sort of star quality. She literally has a star there on her cheek, and she's surrounded by these pentacles, which have stars in them. But you know that you have some sort of admiration. People are kind of looking at you from the background. They think that you don't notice the fact that they're paying attention to you. I think you're well aware of this admiration, and it specifically has to do with what you're doing in the world, like what you're doing with your life, what you're accomplishing, you know, in terms of work and career, probably. How you're going after achieving personal goals and establishing yourself in the world, how you're making and taking advantage of opportunities for yourself. I feel like part of the reason you're choosing to, you know, not think too much about or not focus too much about the fact that people are observing you and admiring you is it's almost like you know that focusing too much on that would pull you out of alignment in some way. It would pull you out of your personal truth. That if you're paying too much about what other people, you know, other people's observations of you, it might lead you to feel that you have to be who they want, or you're going to be too bothered by, you know, whatever assumptions or judgments they might be making. Because I think you're aware that, yes, there is admiration, but it's also just a little bit of scrutiny as well. I think it's a little bit of both. It's admiration, but also scrutiny. But either way, even if it was just admiration, you know, it's like, how can I continue to be authentic if I'm paying too much attention even to the things that people admire? Because then I might get stuck in a rut of just being that which is admired rather than being my whole truth. And I think that you're very intent on, you know, proceeding in life according to your personal truth and kind of staying grounded to that and growing your life from that place of inner truth. All right, number 2, Harbinger. What important message do I bring to others? So for pile 1, what important message do they bring to others? We have the 2 of Wands. It's hard for me to tell how well you guys are able to see this, but yeah, it's sort of like she's come to the end of the pavement. She's being led. She's got this, it's like a little balloon in the shape of a globe of the planet Earth, leading her onward, and she's trusting that. She is looking back over her shoulder, so she knows she's leaving behind an important aspect of her life in order to journey into the unknown. She's going somewhere that hasn't been paved by anyone else before. So it really ties into your truth here. Other people can see that you are really being in touch with your own truth. She's literally walking into Death Valley, so I wonder how that will tie in when we get to card 5 here, which is about death. You know, you are leaving behind old ways in order to experience new growth. And her shadow is like an evergreen tree, but with 2 legs. So it's like a tree, but a tree that can walk and move about and doesn't have to be planted in one place. So I feel like you have that sort of spiritual wisdom that trees have of, you know, being grounded to your own truth being guided by spiritual principles that have to do with your very nature. Understanding the nature of who you are and allowing that to be what leads you forward into the unknown. People can tell that you are moving into uncharted territory. There are some other people, well, there's one other person out here who also has an earth-shaped balloon. But there's no pavement. So even people who may have gone in similar directions before, you know, your direction isn't necessarily going to be exactly the same. We also have a skeleton walking out here. So you just don't know what will happen, right? You don't know what venturing into the unknown will bring, but you feel that you can't do anything else but that. So I feel like the message that you're bringing to other people is, how do I follow my dreams? How do I create my future based on what feels right to me, instead of just going along the paved path that is known to so many people? How can I sort of create my own journey and be free of the restrictions of having to do things in the way that other people have? It does require a symbolic death to go off the known path. All right, 3, perception. What do I see that others don't? We have the 7 of Pentacles, so lots of Pentacles energy here. So it's like all of these little jack-in-the-boxes coming out of their boxes and playing different instruments. There's a person here in the foreground that is not in a box, and this person is tied to what looks like the sun. The sun is even tied to something up beyond it. And then we have someone in the background who's just holding a pentacle. The pentacle is also held by strings. What do you see that others don't? I mean, to go along with what we've been saying, I think you see that there is something unique about you, and you don't want to put that unique quality in a box. That doesn't mean that you aren't still connected to the whole and that you aren't still connected to other people. I feel like you understand that anything you do in life is going to impact other people and vice versa. Everything is connected. But what's most important to you is to be connected to your own truth and your own vitality. The sun is a star. So here she has a star on her cheek. And here the star or the pentacle on her head is connected up to this sun. I feel like you know what makes you feel alive, and that's how you want to be living your life. It isn't to say that these other people who have sprung up out of these boxes, that they're not enjoying their lives, but you just needed to do something that's very different somehow, and there isn't really a box for you. I think what you're understanding is how to still stay somewhat connected to other people, even when recognizing that you really don't quite fit in, but it's okay not to fit in. I feel like, this guy in the background, he doesn't quite fit in either. But there's almost a feeling of like, I don't fit in, and I don't feel comfortable with that, not fitting in. It seems like you're learning. Now, maybe you're this person in the front who has learned to be comfortable with the fact that you don't fit in, or maybe you're the one in the back, or maybe you've been both at different times. But you can definitely see that there's something about you that just doesn't fit in. And Let's pull a clarifier. What is it about that pile 1 sees? Do they not see, I mean, do they see that pile 3 doesn't fit in? Do they see that or no? No, other people don't even see how different you are, but you know it. You know that there is something about you where you're just never really going to belong anywhere. You're never going to really fit in. But so it's sort of like, how do I keep my heart alive and warm? You know, how do I not turn totally cold when I know that I just am never going to find a place where I truly belong, where I truly fit in? How can I come to an acceptance of that? Other people don't seem to be seeing the fact that that's true, or that that is your truth. We have the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. I feel like for you, in order to fit in, you just have to give up part of yourself that you're not willing to give up. You don't want to be at odds with people. You don't want to be having conflict with people. You just want to be happily being yourself and not trying to compete and be somebody that you're not in order to fit in. Being you isn't a competition. It's just simply being you. It's like, you know, you see that there are 2 options here where you could just try to blend in and be like everybody else. And that feels dead to you. Maybe there's a sense of emotional comfort, but it's also sort of a lifelessness. And then another option would be, I can compete with other people in order to kind of prove that I belong here. But that doesn't feel true to you either. There's no reason to compete with people when you are just being you. There's no competition. It's just you being authentic. So there are some things that you're recognizing about this that other people are not. What is it mostly that other people aren't recognizing? I think people don't recognize the degree to which you feel this sense of being someone who will never fit in, and the fact that you feel okay with that. Other people feel more connected to you than you do to them. All right, adaptation. How can I adapt to my current circumstances? So what can pile 1 do? I feel like I may have said pile 3 at some point when I was talking to you guys, but you know who you are. Okay, so we have the Strength card. So what can pile 1 do to adapt to their current circumstances? I mean, she's just taken off a mask, and that took a certain strength. So I think, you know, it's just continuing to live your truth. We even have the statue for truth. This statue, I don't know if you can see it, but it's an actual real life statue, and it exists somewhere. I don't know where, but like there's this garden where they have a series of statues dedicated to the major arcana of the tarot. And this one in the background is Justice, because sometimes the Strength card and the Justice are switched in terms of which numbers they're associated with. Sometimes, so usually Strength is the number 8, but sometimes it's 11, and vice versa with the Justice card. But in any case, it's about, you know, just being true to who you are, you know, telling the truth of who you are, or at least not hiding the truth of who you are. You don't necessarily have to go out of your way to, like, you know, push it down people's throats of like, this is who I am, but not hiding it, you know, just not hiding the truth of who you are. And, you know, forcing people to be okay with that, or not forcing them, but like whatever their reactions might be to you no longer hiding what you truly think, what you truly want out of life. If they don't like it, I mean, that's, I mean, you probably don't like certain things that other people are doing, right? But that doesn't mean that they don't have the right to be that way as long as they're not hurting anyone, right? We're all allowed to have different perceptions, different values, and things like that. So right now, it's just doing more of that, not hiding your authenticity. All of this spread is really about your authenticity. And yeah, and I'm not super familiar with Star Wars, but there is a little baby Yoda down here, so maybe that is speaking to you as well about authenticity. I don't know if Yoda says something that relates to being authentic or not, but I would say generally, I mean, I think Yoda is associated with wisdom, and I think the more you choose not to hide all of the truth, the total truth of who you are, the more wisdom you will get about who you are and what you're meant to be doing in the world. And also the more brave you are about, not being scared about people's reactions to who you truly are. Also, there's a sort of a greater wisdom, I think, that is going to come from that. Okay, card number 5. What must die so that pile number 1 can continue to move forward? We have the Empress. She's holding this globe again, or this planet Earth, which is surrounded by stars. The first thing that I'm getting is what needs to die is a feeling of needing to be everything to everybody, because you can't possibly be authentic and be everything to everybody. There's a part of her, I mean, I think, this symbolizes trying to do that from a place of love. I'm trying to be everything that everyone wants or needs of me because of love. But it's also keeping a part of her sort of hidden. So yeah, I mean, feeling the need to like overextend your love to the point of not being true to yourself, or being more concerned with other people's feelings than with your own truth, that's what needs to die. All right. Any final words of guidance about how to do this? We have the Emperor. It could be that in order to let this Empress die a little bit, you could, maybe need to explore a little bit of how to balance your feminine, giving nature with your more masculine, Martian nature. The planet Mars just wants to do what it wants to do when it wants to do it. It's all about self-determination. The Empress creates through attracting, and she attracts with this beautiful, loving, abundant nature. The Emperor is self-determined. He doesn't let anyone else's desires determine what he desires or how he's going to approach life. So it could be stepping out of the Empress through stepping more into that Emperor nature of, this is what I want to do, and I'm not even going to think about what other people want of me right now. And if you're very accustomed to being in that very giving nature, that might be a difficult adjustment. But that's the guidance for how to allow this aspect of yourself to die, so that you can move more fully into your authenticity, which it seems is very much what you're already doing. And, this is your inner self telling you that's the right path. Your inner being is speaking to you saying, we need more of that. We need more of that self-determination. And pile 1 needs to put pile 1 first. You're number 1. Put yourself, make sure that you're treating yourself like you're number 1. You matter first and foremost in your life. All right, so hopefully that is helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to ring us out here. Hello to everyone who chose pile 2. I'm going to ring our little bells to get us started and clear the energy. All right, we have our little crow feather. We're going to bring in our connection to crow spirit and to our own inner knowing and our ability to look into the shadows and be honest with ourselves. In addition to choosing this second crow image, you also chose, whether you realized or not, the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And this deck is so difficult to shuffle. It has an excellent long-lasting card stock, but so difficult to shuffle. So I'm going to shuffle it in sections here to make sure we get a good shuffle. And this is the tarot spread from Moonbent Tarot, so you can see the questions as we go along. I'm just going to do upright readings for this since we're working with a spread. I think that's enough context. For me, at least it is. If I need to clarify, I'll just pull another card to clarify rather than focusing too much on reversals. It's just my preference. It doesn't have to be yours. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's move this. We can. Okay. All right, so the first question that we're going to ask, and I'm going to spray some more clary sage and other essential oil spray. It's just different essential oils mixed in water. And for one thing, it smells good, and also it's another way of like clearing the energy, bringing in good vibrations. All right. So truth, what is my secret truth? So what is the secret truth of our number 2 people? Okay, 3 of Wands. Your secret truth is hopefulness and optimism. You're feeling really optimistic right now about some things that you have set into motion. Why is this a secret truth? There's something that you feel really passionate about. It's something that really brings you lots of vitality. It could be some sort of creative or entrepreneurial gift or intention, and it's something that you've already put out there. I'm not really sure why it's secret. I don't think that you're necessarily trying to keep this a secret, but maybe it's not come up in conversation, or you don't feel the need. It's like, I feel like you're more interested in pursuing this goal or this dream than you are in telling people about it. You know, it isn't something that you're doing for show. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for other people to see it necessarily. But you have put effort and energy into this, whatever it is. It feels like it's creative, or it just the fulfillment of some sort of dream, that you've set something in progress. And you're feeling very optimistic, I think, very confident, and I think self-assured. You feel certain that really good, positive results will come of that. Okay, so Harbinger, what important message does number 2 bring to others? So we have the Knight of Cups. And what important message does number 2 bring to others? I think that, you are feeling very confident and optimistic right now, but it could be that you struggle a lot with emotional equilibrium. You know, you have big goals and big plans that you want to bring to fruition, and clearly you already are, and you feel confident that that will work out for you. And I do believe that you're correct about that. But it's like, in order to do this, in order to pursue whatever this dream is, this goal, you have to overcome your own perhaps overwhelming emotions. You know, I do sense for a lot of you, you're just very emotionally sensitive, or you could struggle with depression or lethargy, like just low energy, just mood issues with your mood not being great all the time. But it seems like you keep putting one foot in front of the other regardless of that. And this is how you're accomplishing everything you set out to do. You have it fixed in your head what you want to accomplish, and you're just continuing ahead. I feel like part of what the message you bring to others is you show people that even if you have struggles in life, those struggles can be overcome through self-love and self-acceptance. You're accepting the fact that maybe you struggle with low energy or overwhelming emotions or moodiness. It could be, like a significant physical or mental health battle that you face, or just you've surmounted a lot of very difficult obstacles in life that would be difficult for anyone to deal with emotionally. And you're just hanging in there, putting one foot in front of the other and really continuing to focus on the positive, even though things are pretty difficult. There's a lot of negative that you've experienced inwardly and outwardly, a lot of turbulence. And I just feel for a lot of you, it's depression or depressing circumstances that would almost, other people would have been, it would have really pulled the rug out from a lot of people much more than it did you. And I think that it did, but you just, you keep focusing on that target that you have, that goal that you have, and with self-love and self-respect, you keep going. I don't get the sense that you are undermining yourself. It's not like you're like forcing yourself back to work when you've just gone through difficult circumstances necessarily. It's almost like having a goal to focus towards helps you to overcome the emotions that you're feeling that are overwhelming sometimes. Hopefully that's making sense. Okay, number 3. What does pile 2 see that others don't? I think that what you see that others don't is that sometimes it's okay to ruffle other people's feathers. Like, it's okay to rock the boat. It's okay to say things and do things that other people are definitely not going to like. That's kind of another way that you manage to push yourself forward. It's almost even like the spirit of, what is it? You just feel so confident sometimes in what you're saying or doing, even though you know that not everyone's going to be receptive. In fact, some people will probably be angry or react with hostility to what you're saying or doing, or they might even think you're being hostile. And I think a little bit sometimes you are, but you don't care because you feel deserving of everything you have and you feel deserving of everything you've worked for. You may see that some people have a chip on their shoulder just because of that. You have the World card and the Empress. It's like whatever you're wanting to accomplish, you can have it all. And some people are just not going to like that. It's going to, it's going to rub some people the wrong way. And you see this sort of almost like shards of glass in the background. And here it's like you've got some rough edges. And it's like in order to create your empire, you're going to have to hurt some feelings. And it's like you've just come to accept that. People's feelings are going to get hurt. That's fine. That's just how it's got to be. In order for me to fulfill all of my potential in life, what am I going to do? Not fulfill my potential because it might rub you the wrong way? that I'm getting everything I want out of life, even though it's difficult for me to do so? You're like, no. You know, if your feelings are hurt because I'm going out here and pursuing what I want out of life, that's your problem, not mine. All right, so number 4, adaptation. How can number 2 adapt to their current circumstances? I mean, I think you're kind of doing it already with the Queen of Swords. We had the Knight of Swords here before. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, the only adaptation would be, yes, you're perfectly right. Everything that we just said is correct about, you know, if I'm hurting your feelings through just, you know, getting what I want out of life, that's your problem. There could be moments when that does actually keep you from getting what you want out of life, though. So I think it's knowing the wisdom of, if you're ruthlessly determined to get what you want out of life and it's working for you, I mean, the reading is saying, you know, put yourself first. Keep putting yourself first. And, you know, if other people are hurt simply because you're achieving your goals, that is their problem. However, there could be moments when this determination and this sort of I don't feel like it's necessarily ruthless, but like, you know, kind of coldly not caring about other people's feelings. There could be moments when that keeps you from fulfilling your goals. So that's just something to keep in mind. Which one is more important? I think that's what you're being asked here. What's more important? Fulfilling your goals or sticking it to someone and like making them hurt when they try to question you going about your life in the way that you want to go about it? You know, there could be a tendency sometimes just because you get frustrated that someone is questioning you or that someone doesn't want you to win in life, that you kind of want to make them hurt a little bit. But what's the more important thing? Like when we look at this Empress card, like, is it more important to be sitting on this beautiful, comfortable throne with this badass dress and like, you know, all this awesome jewelry? Or do you want to be cutting people with these shards of glass? You know, sometimes it might feel good, you know, to get a little retribution, a little bit of vengeful justice. But, you know, if that vengeful justice keeps you from getting the good things that you really, truly want out of life, you know, what's the trade-off? You have to kind of learn to balance that. The goal isn't necessarily to hurt people's feelings. The goal is to have this great life. And, you know, if a happenstance of that is that someone's feelings are hurt because they don't get that or they don't have the confidence to go after it the way that you do, you know, maybe they can learn from you, but purposely trying to hurt someone's feelings, that probably isn't going to help you out in the end. All right. Although certainly it is tempting, is it not? Sometimes it really is. Okay, so the 5th card is death. What must die so that number 2 can continue to move forward? Page of Cups. Is this about pile 2 or is it about other people? Okay. I think that there is a part of your inner child, not that your inner child needs to die off, but some of what we talked about just now about maybe hurting people when you feel, it could be that you're allowing yourself to get bruised. Maybe you don't want to be honest. Maybe you don't want to admit, because you're coming through as a very strong person. We had the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So, you know, you're kind of very strong and self-determined and definitely willing to push yourself forward at any cost. But it could be that sometimes when you feel that vengefulness arise, it could just be that your inner child is wounded. What you really want is success and peace of mind. That's your inner child. Your inner child is reacting to the fact that You know, I'm just wanting to be successful, and I want to be allowed to feel peaceful about that. And when other people challenge your methods or your goals, maybe other people are like, wow, that's really, you know, why do you care about, you know, manifesting that, you know? Or why are you going about it this way? Yes, you totally are entitled to being successful and to feeling peaceful about it. And we're all going to be challenged by people in life. No matter what we do, there's always going to be people who are critical of that. It does not matter what you're doing. That's something that everybody experiences. So if you're not feeling peaceful about your approach to success or your methods or what you're going after, that's an inside job. That's you attending to your inner child. So what needs to die is the reactiveness that is you avoiding doing this inner child work. You know, can you imagine the Queen of Swords, you know, like connecting with her inner child? This is someone who's forgotten her inner child. All right? So you need to forgetting your inner child. Your inner child does matter, and actually you'll achieve your goals better if you're attending to your sensitivities. Everybody gets hurt when they feel that people are not totally accepting everything they're doing. So focus on those hurt feelings and heal those, and then keep doing what you're doing and succeeding, which quite obviously you are. All right, any final message for pile 2? Yeah, you absolutely, like, keep being this creator of your life. Like, anything that you possibly want to manifest in life, like, you know, it's like field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. Like, whatever you want to do, it will prosper. It will succeed. You will get attention. You will get admiration. There's no end to that. So just go out there and be yourself, and, you know, continue to not worry about other people. But if you have a normal feeling of rejection and woundedness about how someone reacts to you, you know, allow yourself to feel that and work through it. And just continue to prosper. So this is a very beautiful reading. I'm going to, again, ring the bells to ring us on out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around. Welcome to everyone who chose option number 3. Let me ring the bells to ring us into the reading. Get the energy cleared and everything. I'll spray some clary sage spray. It's got some other essential oils in it as well, mixed with water. All right. So you also chose the what is this? The Everyday Witch tarot deck. I was underneath that crow that you chose there. And I've got the Crow's Flight spread from Moonbent Tarot out here printed off, so you can see the questions as well as we move through them. Well, all right. I'm just going to focus on upright readings for this reading, and if I need to clarify a little bit, I'll just pull clarifying cards. That's kind of my preference, usually. Sometimes I feel like doing reversals. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing. All right. All right, so question number 1, truth. What is my secret truth? So what is the secret truth of pile number 3, folks? Secret truth. Ooh, we have the King of Swords. You've got some kind of strategy going on. That is your secret truth. You've been strategizing and planning on something. Let me pull a clarifier here. Yeah, you're going places. There's a particular plan that you have in mind. Why is this a secret truth? Okay, you do have some concerns about this plan. And I think that, or maybe you feel that other people would be concerned about it. Either you're concerned, I feel a lot of confidence coming from you, so it could be that you think other people would be worried. Yeah, I think that you feel pretty confident that things will work out, but you may not be telling everyone about it. Doesn't mean you've not told anyone, but it could be something that you're primarily keeping to yourself just because you're afraid certain people wouldn't understand this particular goal that you have, or they wouldn't trust that you do have what it takes, or that you have a good plan in mind. You know, you definitely have planned and strategized towards something that you are embarking on, or that you're getting ready to embark upon. And yeah, you just feel like maybe some people are not going to believe in you. Yeah, that's an advice that you hear a lot, is don't, you know, you don't necessarily, if you're trying to manifest something, it's not always a good idea to tell everybody what you're doing, for that very reason, that they may not believe in you. They could be doubting your abilities, and so that could plant doubts in your own mind. So yeah, it seems like you're like cool as a cucumber, keeping a cool head here. You've got a plan, you're determined, feeling confident. All right, so number 2, what important message does number 3 bring to others? 9 of Wands. I think you must be much more courageous than a lot of people that you know. I feel like you encounter a lot of people who, it's like if they fall off the proverbial bicycle, they don't want to get back on. But you don't really see it that way. You're more of a try again type person. See, I mean, it's a pretty simple answer here. You show people how to be determined and to keep going and keep trying to succeed at something, even if there are obstacles, or even if you do get, you know, bruised up a little bit along the way. All right, perception. What does pile 3 see that others don't? I mean, it's just hopefulness. I think, you know, positivity. But I think also you can kind of see into the future a lot. I don't know if you're into the Myers-Briggs personality types, but I'm really getting INTJ for a lot of you. That doesn't have to be the case, but it would be nice confirmation for some of you. You know, INTJs do tend to be people who can kind of like, you know, like if you're playing chess with someone with this personality type, they'll be able to see several moves ahead and all of the possible, you know, counter moves. And so I think this is what it is. Part of why you feel confident in your strategy is that you've already worked out every possible scenario, and you feel really confident that your strategy is going to come to fruition. You can basically see the future. You know, some of you might be psychic as well, and some of you can just kind of put the pattern together and more or less, you know, kind of see ahead to how all of this is going to pan out. What do they need to know about that? I think that, you know, there are a lot of people who either do currently rely upon you in life, or who will rely upon you in life, because I think you tend to attract people who are much more timid and definitely don't have this particular skill set that you have. You really know how to create firm foundations for yourself and others, and to be brave. But part of your bravery really comes from kind of knowing where the pitfalls are, you know, knowing how to avoid the snares that could potentially arise. So for you, there's no reason to be super fearful about pursuing what you want in life, which it looks like is, you know, security, prosperity, just kind of like the creature comforts of life, domestic harmony, domestic bliss, having the finances you need when you need them. Everything that you're doing is strategizing towards building kind of a financial, but also a family legacy for yourself. And there are just a lot of people who depend on you. Maybe some of them because they're children, or you're going to have children, or just other family members or people in your life who are more timid. I feel like you, for whatever reason, you attract people who are maybe more sensitive, and I think other introverts too, but just people who really are going to lean on you for support. So you being able to strategize in this way and have this optimism, it really helps a lot of people. And I don't think it's a codependent type of a situation. I think it's more like, you just feel very proud of yourself for your ability to accomplish security and safety and well-being that benefits not just you, but maybe other friends and family, or even the wider community that you live in some way. This sort of feeling of wanting to give back to others and wanting to have a strategy that's going to work and support a lot of people. And absolutely, I feel that, I think you already feel confident in this, but this is further confirmation that you have every reason to feel confident. All right, so let's look at card number 4, adaptation. How can number 3 adapt to their current circumstances? Okay, so we have the Hanged Man. So it will be helpful for you to spend some time trying to understand other people's perceptions more, because I think that you're very set in your ways and very determined and feeling like you definitely have the best strategy. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't also listen to and pay attention to other people's fears. Don't let those fears drag you down, or just even their insights or their perceptions, because there's valuable information there. Yes, you seem to have a very good strategy, but there's something that you do need to hear from someone else. Someone else is trying to tell you how they feel about some of what you're doing, because it doesn't just affect you. That's something that already came up here. You're approaching life in a way that is meant to support multiple people, and you kind of have to hear their needs out more and hear their desires out more. You may not be someone who leads with your emotions, or who takes emotions into consideration as much as other people. And sometimes people just want to feel heard, even if you do have the best plan in place, even if you can guide this ship very successfully, people will enjoy allowing you to take the lead more if you just listen to them and understand, that they do need your emotional support. They don't just need you to be out here having the victory for the whole family or the whole community or whoever it happens to be. And they also need you to care about their feelings and be willing to hear them explain what their feelings are. Part of what this is that, these people who you're benefiting, they really love you. So they want you to know that, but they may also want you to listen to them just talking about all of their various emotions, about what's happening that affects the whole family or the whole group or whatever it happens to be. All right, number 5, death. What must die so that number 3 can move forward, can continue to move forward? Okay, yeah, we have 5 of Cups. So I think this has to do with what we were already saying. You're like this little cat in the background. You can already see the victory. For you, it's so obvious that whatever you're doing is going to accomplish the intended results. You have zero doubts. And so you may just not be noticing the different emotions that other people in your life are having. And it may not even have anything to do with what you're strategizing. It could be something else, but like someone needs you to attend to their emotional needs. And if you continue to not be capable of seeing or attending to the emotional needs of the people in your life who care about you and love you, they may at some point feel that they need to move on and find someone who can pay attention to their emotions. Yeah. So what needs to die is you feeling that emotions are not a necessary consideration in the overall plan. Any final thoughts? Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, you benefit from the fact that the people in your life who you have personal relationships with care about your emotions, and they are very aware of your emotions. So, you know, you have to start seeing that because you do benefit from that, other people want to benefit from you being aware of when they're feeling sad or scared or loving, you know, whatever it happens to be. But people need you to be paying attention to their emotions the same way that they do for you. Otherwise, it's going to start to feel really unbalanced for these people in your life. All right. So I hope that was really helpful. Let me ring this out. Enjoy the rest of your day and your week. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.